All right, guys, this is Emmett Stallworth again, the Alpha Builder. Guys, I was sitting down with some of my buddies, man, and we were sitting down talking. And guys, if you looked at any of my earlier videos, you would hear me say, and I did a Charlie Kirk video, guys, and you would actually hear me say that the one thing I believe in, especially in the United States, I think this is one of the greatest countries in the world. And this is why I think it's one of the greatest countries, is because of some of the things and some of the laws that we're allowed to have. And one thing that you hear me say is that I believe in freedom of speech. This is why when I did a video on Charlie Kirk, I said that, hey, everybody, whether you agree with people or you don't agree with people, we should all have a freedom of speech. And guys, you would hear me say that I would literally march shoulder to shoulder with the KKK. If the KKK and I were marching for our right of free speech, to be able to say what you believe in. And the reason I think that's so important is because I don't want to tell someone else what they can't say, because I don't want you to tell me what I can't say. And guys, I've pivoted. I'm having a change of thoughts now. I'm starting, and I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm starting to believe that we should not have the freedom of speech. And here's why. I think that a country should have the freedom of speech only if you have at least 80% of your population that is well educated. And I'm talking about educated, math, science, and your whole 80% of your country is well educated, then I think you should have the freedom of speech. If your country is not well educated, then I don't know we should have the freedom of speech. And the reason I say that, guys, is because people who can't think, if you got a population of people who can't think, then they're going to believe any and everything other people say. And people who believe a lie is more dangerous than the person who actually tell that lie. Those people become dangerous because they just believe what they hear. They can't reason because they can't think. They can't reason. They can't analyze. They have no analytical thought process to be able to say, well, this is right and this is wrong and this is why. They don't have inductive reasoning. If A equals to B and B equals to C, then A equals to C. They can't think like that. So if you have a real a mass number in your population that can't think, and then someone else says something and these people simply believe them, that is dangerous, guys. That's dangerous. That's extremely dangerous. So I'm starting to believe, guys, that, and I'm gonna tell you something, guys, I've taught in the public school system, in the inner city schools here in the Birmingham area, and we are moving backwards. And that was then. That was, it might have been, the last time I taught in a public school might have been 7 years ago, guys. And the last time I really taught in a public school was probably about maybe 15 years ago, guys. And I know that we were moving backwards then, especially in the African-American community, that the school system was going backwards. They were, and here's the thing, guys, they actually thought in the school system that the more money that you throw at the school system, or you give the school system more money, they're going to give it. No, they actually got worse. They get worse. See, it's not money that's going to fix the education problem. It's not money, it's family. And the reason I say family is because there are certain standards that a good family is going to give you. There are morals, there's standards, there's culture that your family's going to say, hey, look, you need to go get your education. Your dad, you got to go get your education. See, that's created at home. The drive to be educated, those things are created at home. In most cases with a family. But if you at a house, man, when everybody's out working and no one have time to really focus on the kids and what they're learning and things like that, or really care. And then not only that, guys, these school systems are just teaching these kids to test. They're not teaching them to think. They're teaching them to test. If there's a test that they take, okay, we're gonna have prep for this particular test, and we're gonna try to see if you can, because that's how the schools are being graded. We're gonna look at what the majority of the students in this school system make on the ACT or in this particular school, and that's how we're gonna grade these schools. So the schools that are behind, instead of them teaching the kids how to think, or working with the kids and teaching fundamentals of mathematics and things like that and how to think, what they do is they just simply teach them the test. Look like this, right? And teach them these little tricks and these little tricks and trinkets where, you know, if you run out of time, you're just gonna mark B all the way down. You know, just little things like that. They teach them test taking skills instead of how to think. So now, fast forward today, our kids they're worse when it comes down to thinking, and especially when it comes down to African American males. It's almost like a badge of honor with the black boys to be dumb, to make bad grades. I saw that. When I taught, there was if the African American boys actually made good grades, they got joked on. What? Our culture is, guys. Our culture is so bad, especially in the African American community. It's almost like if you just be the worst person, then we uphold that worst person. If you go to prison and you get out, we're gonna throw a party for you. You go get your master's degree, you just educated lame. This is where we're at, guys. So our education is at an all-time low, guys. So now these people that are coming out here, they can't think. And if they can't think, they just believe any and everything anybody who looks like they know what they're talking about say. They can't reason and logically infer what these people are actually saying or whether or not what they're saying is right or wrong. So these people will do dumb stuff and don't even know they're doing it. They don't even know that they're doing dumb stuff. They have no clue because they can't think. So I'm starting to think, man, we may need to not allow people to have the freedom of speech. It's just a thought, guys. Just a thought. I'm not all the way there yet. But I've taught these guys. I know what we're dealing with. Once again, guys, like, share, subscribe. And at the end of the day, it is what it is. And this is the way. You guys have a good one. Let me see. Here we go.